Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures, where I'll be talking and reviewing action figures from different manufacturers. Today we're going to be having a closer look at the Clone War Trooper figure from Sideshow. Of course, I'm giving you a little spin with the open box so you can admire the box, the figure in it, and a bit the art around this box. Now let's talk about specifics about this figure. So this figure is item 192. This figure went up for pre-order on the 7th of July 2014, and the ETA for this figure was the first quarter of 2015. Now, personally, I do not believe that this figure came out on that period of time, because the first quarter includes the Chinese New Year, so a lot of these items might have shipped a bit later on. Of course, I'm not talking about memory, because I cannot tell you with exactitude. I would have to go and dive into the archives, and sadly my computer where all those informations are on are dead, so I cannot have access to it. So for me, this figure came out in the second quarter of 2015. Now the suggested retail price on Sideshow's website for this figure was $149.99. So of course this does not include taxes or shipping, but this is what it was suggested selling for. So now that we are admiring this figure, doing this final spin, we will be talking about specifics about the figure, the origin of this figure, history of course of the figure. What do I think about it? Do I think that this figure is a collectible item? And do I think it's interesting? So without any further ado, let's jump into having a look what we get in more details and what we get in this box. So let's have a look at what we have in the box. Of course, I have removed it from its box. As you can see, these figures were really packaged pretty neatly and had a lot of layers in them, so it gives them a pretty tight packaging. So of course, the packaging breaks down into two. So of course, you will have the DC blaster, DC-15 blaster. You will have different hands over here, different feet also. We have a nice backpack that has the logo of the bomb squad. We're going to be also having a look at the other one. Of course, you have the figure stand. You have some more hands. You have a little clipper over here, and there you have the bombs over here. We're going to be having a closer look at it, and while I'll be talking about the history, we have also the DC-15S side-arm blaster. So I mean, this figure is pretty complete. So let's have a closer look at the box and the figure itself, and also let's talk history. So, talking about the history of this figure, now this figure only appeared in 2 episodes of Clone Wars, did not have any apparition in the movies. The 2 episodes that it came in was the Blue Shadow Virus and the Mystery of the Thousand Moons. The reason of the Thousand Moons, it's because it's a follow-up episode to the Blue Shadow Virus. It is a mad scientist on Naboo that has decided to create a deadly virus. Of course, Padme is infected, Ahsoka is infected, and these guys are sent in for the clearing up. As you can see, the head of it is Phase 1 Clone Troopers. We didn't have any of these figures appearing later on, but I did really like the fact that we got these and Cartoon, not Cartoon Network, it was of course Lucasfilm who did it, and they were appearing on also the Disney Plus channel. So I really think that these clones are really fantastic, and this is the reason why I started really liking the prequel trilogies, due to the fact that I was risen with the original trilogy. And let's say episode 1 was kind of okay. We got great music, we got Qui-Gon Jinn, we had an interesting relationship with Obi-Wan, played by Ewan McGregor. So there was a few things who were interesting. Darth Maul. Episode 2 was a bit of a disaster. There was a few good things, and then episode 3 was a bit better. But what really made me love those things is the Clone Wars cartoon series. So if you want to look for those 2 episodes, they aired in 2009 in February 13th, if I'm not mistaken. So you can go and check them out. If you have Disney Plus, you can go and watch it. I really enjoyed the cartoons, and I think certain things were maybe a bit kiddish, but overall there was a pretty interesting arc, and certain things that were not done for younger kids. Now that we have talked a bit about the history about these guys, let's have a closer look at the figure itself. Now, let's start by the figure itself. Let's take him out of the box. As you can see, there's a pretty well detailed head sculpt. He has the logo of the bomb squad over here. The figure has some weathering on it, so that makes it pretty neat. Of course, we do have some weathering on all sides of it. As you can see, there's some scratches. The weathering is pretty good. Let's be honest, for a figure that came out so long time ago, the figure itself is pretty nice. As you can see, this clips in pretty easily, so you can really use it. The fact that the figure itself has the phase 1 helmet, it could be a bit problematic, but due to the fact that this is a bomb squad, you could say that these guys did not evolve and didn't swap over to the new phase helmet, so you could still use it. As you can see, really neat figure, really well detailed. Of course, the classical articulations around this figure. So he is pretty well done and cannot complain about it. Now, of course, we're going to go to something where Hot Toys is not as good as on. It's the number of hands that are given. Now, of course, later on you got a bit extra hands, but I must say that Sideshow is really ruling on this department with all the different hands that came with this figure. I mean, it's just unbelievable how many came with it. And I must say that I highly appreciate the fact that every figure that Sideshow has made for the Clone Wars, or any clone troopers that they have made, who could be also for the movies, always came with the pegs in the hand. It's something that I think is something of really great, and due to the fact that the pegs are a lot bigger than the ones that Hot Toys provides, they're a lot more easy and durable and less breakable. Over the years, I have only broken one peg on this, on the hand, and I have one broken peg on the foot. But that's because sadly one of my figures decided, it was Captain Rex phase 1, decided to do some skydiving without using his jetpack and kind of crashed, and that's the reason why it ended up on the floor. As you can see, the fact of getting these foots in this kind of posable way to give them more of a accuracy of if you want to have him kneeling down, this is really something fantastic. Now let's take a look at the hands. Of course, we have the salute hand, we have gun hand, we have grappling hand, more gun hand for the other side. We have kind of V for victory, orchard pointing out. We have a thumbs up. We have two fingers pointing into a direction. We have the one hand pointing direction. We have, of course, grappling. I guess this would be used for the tool over there. You have the hand who's open, who will be able to hold those virus fuels, and of course another regular hand. Now let's take a closer look at the backpack itself. The backpack, I think, does have some magnetics on it, so it fixes pretty well. The Hot Toy works like this. Over here you have a little peg, so if you want to remove it, you have to open it. So this is maybe not the best thing. As you can see, this is the magnet who goes on to the back, even if there's some straps. So this fits in pretty neat. So you will have to be really careful. It is not something that I suggest that you open and close multiple times. But as you can see, the backpack has some nice weathering, has some color schemes, which was not the case for the ones that were given later on, but you will see that in the next review of the clone troopers that were made. But as you can see, you have the Bomb Squad logo. It is really neat to have this. Now we're going to be diving into the bombs and of course also the tools over here. So of course you get the plier that goes into it. As you can see, it opens and closes. I think this is a really nice, neat added accessory to it. Of course, we're going to be having a closer look at the virus fuel. So of course, as you can see, they have all the different logos. You can see that you can pull out. Whoops, sorry about that. You can use and pull out. This is like when the virus is going to spread. It's a pretty neat, detailed way of showing the bombs, and they really look well done for the figure itself and the year that they came out. So really like the fact that you have the transparent tubes. So go and check out the episode if you haven't. If you know what it is, you can see that they did a pretty good job. Now, of course, we're going to be finishing by the bastards, but of course, You have the regular Star Wars stand. Of course, if you had an exclusive version, you would have a drawing on it. I can't remember if they did an exclusive version, but they might have done one, but these are the regular ones. As a distributor, you will not get the exclusive. If you wanted the exclusive, you would have to pay them full price, and then you will be guaranteed to get them. So this is the standard stand of the figure. When we're going to give it a final spin and have a look at it, we'll be able to show you how all of that works. So now that we have, let's have a look. So these are the DC-15S sidearm blasters. Of course, you can put them with over like this, but I haven't really seen them being used as this kind of rifle. They were always in this kind of position. Now, something really neat that they did with the DC-15A blaster rifle, as you can see, they have not removed. This came also with the other clone troopers. You will see it in the review. Of course, this is the grappling hook that you would have with the figure. Now, over here, they are not removable. Oh, yes, they are. Oops, sorry, that one flew away. I will have to go and pick it up afterwards. So you can have the standard blaster, or you can slide in the grappling hook. I think this is something who's really neat and a nice add-on to this figure. Now, let's give it a final spin, all geared up, and I will tell you what I think about it, and do I think this is a collectible item. So let's get this figure a spin so you can admire him. I posed him with the bomb, the clipper for it, and I have displayed all the rest of the gear so you can have a closer look at it. So, what are my final thoughts about this figure, and do I think this figure is a collectible item? So let's start by the collectible point of view. This figure is definitely a collectible item. I do not see the prices going down on this figure. I do not see Hot Toys making any version of this figure. They kind of have turned away from the Clone Wars. They did the Bad Batch, but they're going into a more realistic approach. Sideshow had a more cartoonish look on the way the figures were designed. And of course, Sideshow is not much of doing 2.0 figures or relaunches for this one, so we haven't seen it. I mean, the figure came out 10 years ago, so if something would have happened, they would have done it. Now, I wouldn't put it past Hot Toys to maybe make one, but there's high chances that they will not. Sadly, if you wanted this figure, if you got it when it came out, it's a good thing. If you didn't, I do have some up for sale, so drop me an email or contact me through Facebook if you are interested in this figure. I will make also a video for the ones I have for sale, but they are all exactly the same. They are mint in box, never taken out of the box. So if you're interested, let me know. But yes, this is definitely a collectible item, and it will hold its value over time. Now, what do I think about this figure? What are my final thoughts about this figure? And what is my note out of 10? Now, I'm going to start by the note. This figure is a 10 out of 10. I mean, I can understand that some people may think I am biased due to the position that I had distributing Sideshow, and I really like Sideshow. But this figure is perfection. There's nothing much to say. The only pinpoint you could really say, call out about Sideshow's articulation problems is something that you can pinpoint, and I could agree with you that some of them have it. But as you can see, the figure is holding up. This figure is 10 years old, and it came out of the box for the first time, never opened it before. As you can see, it's holding up. You have all those hands, you have all those pegs, you have the feet, you have two blasters, you have two bombs, virus bombs, you have the clipper to deactivate them. I mean, what more could you ask? Could you say, well, I would have like some extra tools, maybe an unmasked version of it to have a clone head? Yeah, but that's nitpicking. And again, we're talking a figure was $149. I find it pretty decent with everything that you get with it. It is a decent figure. So for me, 10 out of 10, this figure is really fantastic. The way it looks, everything is pure fantastic with this one, especially if you're a Clone Wars cartoon fan and you want to recreate the scene. This is really perfection on it at this level. So that's going to be it for the review of my Bomb Squad Clone Trooper from Sideshow. If you like this kind of review, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in this part that is described for it. And also you can contact me through Facebook if you have any suggestions. Please let me know. Subscribe to the channel, that helps out a lot, and this is something I highly appreciate. If you do it, this really does help me out a lot. So of course I will be doing some pictures outside. I'll be opening another one of the figures that I had because I plan to army build them. I was planning to open 3, so I'm going to go and do some pictures. If you want to go and see them, you can go to my Instagram page or my Facebook page, and you can find it over there. I will be posting those in the few next days, so go and check it out over there if you're a fan of it. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!